travel. 1. Who were the first space travelers? The first travelers in space were animals. In 1947, some fruit flies flew in a spaceship for 3 minutes. They returned to Earth safely. 2 years later, a monkey called Albert II flew 130 kilometers above the Earth. The first animal to travel around the Earth was a little dog called Laika in 1957. Her spaceship was just 4 meters high. 2. Who was the first man in space? The first spaceship to take a man into space was like a big ball. But not a very big ball, it was just 2.3 meters across. The flight in 1961 was 108 minutes and went around the Earth once. The flight controllers did not know how to land the spaceship safely. The astronaut, Yuri Gagarin, jumped out before it crashed. He landed with a parachute. 3. Who was the first man on the moon? A few years later, men traveled to the moon. That's 400,000 kilometers there and then 400,000 back again. The rocket they used was huge, 111 meters high. The first man to walk on the moon was an astronaut called Neil Armstrong in 1969. He said it was one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. He spent 2.5 hours on the moon. 4. How did men travel on the moon? After a few trips to the moon, the astronauts wanted to see more of it. So they took a moon buggy with them. They drove around on the moon. It did not go fast, but it was fun. 6. What is happening in space now? Travel to the moon stopped in 1972, but people still travel in space. Space stations are huge spaceships that stay in space all the time. Scientists go to space stations to study, sometimes for a few days and sometimes for a long time. One man stayed for 427 days. Today astronauts live and work on the International Space Station. It travels around the Earth 16 times a day. It flies 530 kilometers above us, but it is very big and you can see it from Earth. So keep your eyes open. 5. What were space shuttles? From 1981 to 2011. Space shuttles flew into space and back. Space shuttles were planes that could fly in space. They flew around the Earth at 28,000 kilometers per hour. The astronauts saw a sunrise and a sunset every 45 minutes. Then they came back to Earth and landed like a plane.